Alright, as I mentioned in my first video when I did the exhaust insulation fix, which hopefully fixes the problem, I just said I would go over the bike and see what I've done to it. What I don't have showing is the gun boots that I use for hunting season. So basically for winter I've mounted a click and go to. Fantastic plow so far, comes on, goes on and off, nice and easy. I've added the Fairlead that uses the larger diameter lower roller, so less strain, less stress on the cable. Pivot's really nice, really enjoy it. I've only had it for about a month so far, and I wouldn't trade it so far. I added the Camoplast T4S tracks. I guess bang for the buck, they've been the best that I've worked with so far. I service these regularly to keep them up to par, and I also do it for others. The main thing is to store these vertical, not horizontal. Leave them as if they were on the bike. Do not lay them down. What happens is that the water builds up in the bearings and they start to rust, etc., and then you've got an issue. So basically what I do every year before I put them away, I pull all the caps off, let everything dry really good, throw all the caps back on, then I store it again in a vertical sense. Of course, wheels are stored up for the winter. Still using the Gorillas. May change that to more of a trail riding friendly tire for hunting and for trail riding. Just use those for going to play in the mud, which I rarely do. So I've also added the Handlebar Warmers from Can Am. I find they're about the best. I have replaced the controller here already. This is the new updated version with a little plate that I don't think does anything, but this is cracked on the originally. I've also got the Speedo healer, which I've showed before for the tracks. There's a Speedo healer that I installed. Basically, wires run down towards where your speed sensor pickup is, and 40% is what I use for the tracks, and that gives me the proper ratio for the proper speed and mileage. And then 50% I use that when the tires are on. So when I'm reading the speed, so let's say I'm doing, I'm going to say this in kilometers an hour because this is Canada. So if I'm doing, let's say 110 kilometers an hour, then obviously I'm doing 55 kilometers an hour on the clock. This gives me this basically bypasses the speed limiter and allows me to go a lot quicker, and especially with the tracks, because it'll do about 60 kilometers an hour with the, 60 kilometers, 65 kilometers an hour with the tracks. It's like riding a sled. This thing has enough power to just throw this thing around. What I've also done to the tracks is I've studded them. I've used stainless steel tin screws. They're very, very sharp on the exterior. They're probably pretty dull now. They've been on there for 3 years. But gives you that extra traction on ice. In particular, when you're going ice fishing and you're breaking trail and you end up going through a slush, well, this will save your butt. What's nice is that you can push the button on this bike and lift the suspension up a few inches, and then it'll get you out of trouble. It's gotten me out of trouble several times, and if I did not have these cleats on or studs, I would not have gotten out. It was I've done this to a few bikes now, and all the guys are really appreciative of it. So I've added the Bronco box roots from right when I first bought the bike. I had this on my 800 XMR. The 800 XMR is a whole other story. I've had too many issues with it. It was a major problem with it. And the dealer, fantastic dealer, Pap's Power Shop in Cochrane, Ontario, was absolutely fantastic. Helped me out and took the bike on trade, gave me a $1,000 for a fantastic price due to the issues I was having, and Can Am themselves were not helping out. Reason why I went with this instead of the original Can Am seat that they tell you not to put on this bike, just because of the height of it, is the storage space in the back. I really enjoy the storage space. It's been it gives me storage for survival gear, ropes, chains, straps, extra clothes, etc., etc. So I also added the extenders. I think the extenders came from Motovan. These extend the footrests for my passenger. My wife's quite short, and she likes to have her feet nice, comfortable, and seat, and it gives you that support while you're sitting in the back. I did remove the original Can Am Gorilla or XMR pads. They're aluminum plates that sit here with grips on them, and they give you more traction for when you're doing water wheelies, etc. But I didn't find a need for that, so I definitely put those on. Moving to the back again, what I did do, which a lot of people really like the design I kind of put together, is the rear winch. Now it's a 4,500 pound Warn with the controller is from Warrior winch, but I'll be going over to the Warn. It's mounted through the receiver, and what I'll do is I'll take that apart and show you how that works. All the controls are up here. So basically I mounted all my solenoid, etc. My remotes are all here. I've got my wireless remote also that I use, and that's been fantastic, trying to pull a cable out to middle of one tree in a swamp, and able to get out there without having to any cable limitations basically. Now I'm going to try to do this with one hand. It's kind of going to be a little difficult, but basically back here, as you can probably see in red here, I don't know if I can focus that properly, is the plug-in that I have. So here it is here. Makes it nice and easy. And let me go on this side. So I've got a clip here that I use. And I've beefed up just because this mounting system comes with a bigger pin instead of it's pretty dark. Instead of your regular 5/8 pin, I think it is for trailers, or pins, not trailer pins, but the receivers. This one's a little larger. I think it's like a 3/4. So I've had to bore that hole in the bike's receiver a little bit bigger, which I don't mind. Just pull my pin out. There's the pin and the clip, and then I just grab it, and there you go. If you don't want it on the bike, it's off. Now with this system, I've got the cage here, which protects everything. It protects the hub here that normally breaks, and this is your freewheeling hub, of course. Protects the wires. I really enjoy this. It fits perfectly on this bike. Not sure what miles it'll fit. I've tried it on the I think it was a 650 Can Am, and it fit perfectly. I'd have to try it on several different bikes to see if I can make it fit, as it does have a pretty sharp receiver on the back. And so what with this model, actually it comes with these, and just a little block. There you go. I put my pin in, and I've got my ball for around the camp when I want to pull the trailer, clean up the yard, etc. So good system, really nice. Nice to have 4,500 pounds worth of winch power to pull you out backwards, because when you're going in forward, you sure sometimes you have no choice but to come out backwards.